You have chemical warfare. That's what's going on right now in the Gulf. That's chemical warfare. Okay, let's let the toxins loose in the waters. We're going to strategically place all of God's people on the Gulf Coast and on the East Coast. Make it where that's the majority of the people will live there. Don't think they didn't know that fault line was there for that oil a long time ago. They knew, or they'd have been drilled there. At a certain time, we're going to let those toxins loose. Then we'll use the military to spray that coexant poison on top that's outlawed by every country on earth to poison the people. Then we'll pay the people to clean it up. Go ahead, get $200 a day. Go ahead, $200 a day, free money. Look, you can make $1,000 in a few hours. Go ahead. They know you're not going to be able to collect that money. You work there a month straight, you probably kill right over. That's what's going on. This is biological and chemical warfare against God's people. We are living in Jacob's trouble. Read.
Verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted.
Here's the plan, though. What pretext did Christ say here? What pretext would happen in our time that would allow this to happen? That they would deliver you up to kill you. What is the pretext? We must label anyone that we want terrorist. If you are against our turn, we can call you radical and label you terrorist. And deliver you up to the government. Why? It must be some laws on the books that will allow them to deliver you up. The war on terror. That's what this is all about. You're waiting for an antichrist, and we're living in an antichrist world. We're living in an antichrist world, and you're waiting for an antichrist. Read.
Verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you.
And shall what?
And shall kill you.
And the majority of these people that it's talking about are God's people. Christ is talking about his people, people that believe in him. They did this in 70 AD, but they did it on a small level. But they did it. They lied. Nero burned Rome and claimed that the Jews did it. Claimed that we did it. He gave Vespasian and his son Titus the pretext to come and destroy us in Israel. We did nothing to the Romans, but the Romans thought we were their enemies based on what Nero said. Who was Nero? Nero was what you would call the modern day president. That's who Nero was. Now you can label all the Jews terrorists. Now let's go take down Jerusalem. Same exact thing. The terrorists used to be Arabs. Now who are they? Oh, there's black Somalians. We need to spread this war on terrorism based on what just happened in the World Cup with these blacks losing their minds. Oh, the underwear bomber. They're black. They're black. They're flying into Egypt, going into Somalia, developing extremist views. You see how broad that is? To the point where they can paint you any way they want to. That's the world we live in today. But yet, I don't see one conviction. Now, have there been one conviction of a black person that have actually did something? What was the court date? Give me the court date in which any of us was ever convicted for doing something as extremists in this world. Okay? And don't talk about the DC bomber. I mean the DC sniper. He was nothing more than a Manchurian candidate. He was a sniper for the government. A lot of these guys were chipped and controlled. And they want to set that up too to make you so they can broaden the face on terrorism, when really they point to those that would follow Christ. Those that would have the knowledge and the spiritual acumen to fight against what they call the new satanic world order. Read.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
It says, you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Now, nations is not territory or land. Nations is nationality. So God's people will be hated by all nations for his name's sake. Why would they be hated by all nations? Because at the very end, the Spirit would come on God's people to realize they are the people. And that would breed hatred amongst the other people. And what they call that is separatist teaching. That's not separatist teaching. How can that be separatist if I acknowledge who I am? Is a Chinese separatist for saying he's Chinese? Okay? Let's get that in Zephaniah. And let's get that in the Apocrypha where it talks about the poor righteous man, that they would use the law to oppress the poor righteous man. How they consider themselves and they think that we can't see what they're doing. The Most High has showed us, according to Scripture, exactly what they're planning, what's on their mind, and what tools they'll use. Yes. Read the Apocrypha, Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter. I'm going to Zechariah 1 right after that.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves.
This is what the ungodly is saying, reasoning within themselves. And the ungodly are the people that are being controlled by Satan. The government powers of this earth. This is what they're saying amongst themselves, reasoning amongst themselves. And they'll sit at this big board table and reason amongst themselves. And let's see if the Most High can give us some level of insight or be a fly on the wall of what these people are saying. Read.
For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright.
But they're not right. They're not reasoning aright. Read.
Our life is short and tedious.
Listen, our life is short. Go ahead.
And in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been.
So they're saying our life is short, and we don't know anyone that we know that have come back. This is what they think. So they don't think to believe in the resurrection of Christ. They think that this life is all they have. That's what they teach. Live for today, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, or once you die, it's it. But they don't understand death is just one passage from one life into an entirely different life. Your life don't stop. But because of their unbelief, they think that they need to live out every day like a kid. It's going to tell you that, like a child. And we're the people they're playing with. Read.
Verse 2. For we are born at all adventure.
Go ahead.
And we shall be hereafter as though we had never been.
Go ahead.
For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of a heart.
Go ahead.
Which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes.
So they're saying, listen, when we die, we'll get cremated. Nothing. Read.
And our spirit shall vanish as the soft air.
So they don't believe that there's life after death. Read.
Verse 4. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof.
Go ahead.
For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning. For it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Come on therefore, let us enjoy the good things.
So because they don't believe in the true God, they say, let's come together and enjoy the good things. So that's why these rich people act like kids. They run around and make themselves Disney World